Good day, legends. Rilo here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to have a good old squiz at the latest features that have been packed into NG Regens Manager 25, version 1.2. This beast is dropping alongside the brand new Picture Pack 4, and she's an absolute perler. Now, this picture pack is all about beefing up the Americas. We're talking dedicated face packs for Caucasian North Americans, African Americans, and those Southern Cone lads from down around Paraguay and Argentina. Since these are brand spanking new categories, you will need to be on the latest version of the software to use them properly. But don't stress. If you're not ready to update yet, you can still grab Picture Pack 4 and get the awesome, high-quality upgrades for the Afro-Caribbean, Mestizo, and Portuguese folders. Just a heads up, those three shiny new categories won't show up in the old software, so keep that in mind. Right, let's dive into the first big feature. And it's a beauty. Savegame Profiles. Ever found yourself running 2 or more FM saves at once? And you get absolutely sick of manually swapping out that config.xml file every single time, just to get the right faces for the right save? Yeah, mate, if that's you, this feature is going to be a game changer. No more mucking around. Over on the main menu, you'll spot a new icon for Savegame Profiles. Give that a click. If you're fresh on the tools, you'll just see the one default profile sitting there. You can't delete this one, and it's what the app falls back on if it ever gets confused about which profile to use. It's our safety net. Let's make a new one. Click Add Profile. This little window pops up. First up, we need a unique name. Let's say I'm deep into a Build a Nation save in Gibraltar for my YouTube channel, so I'll call this one Gibraltar, and for the description, my YouTube save. For now, just leave folder configuration on default. We'll come back to that later. No dramas. Hit Create. Our profile's made. Now, have a look down in the bottom left at the configuration file section. It's empty, because we haven't generated anything yet. If you've already got a config.xml from an existing save, you can just click that Import button and bring it straight in. Once it's in, you just smash this big green Activate This Profile button. That tells the app to make this profile's config.xml the active one in your main FM graphics folder. See that? Now the profile is green in the list. Active and ready to go. Alright, let's make another one for a new save. I'll call it Journeyman and the description My Twitch Save. I don't have a config for this yet, so I'll just click Activate. The app's smart enough to know it's empty and brings up this wizard. This screen works exactly like the main Generate page. You just pick your shortlist, click Generate and Activate, and boom. It creates the config.xml and makes it active, all in one go. So now we've got 2 profiles set up. My Journeyman profile is active. I can fire up FM, start my Twitch stream, reload the skin, and all the right faces are there. Then, when I want to record a YouTube video, I come back here, click on the Gibraltar profile, click Activate, load up my Gibraltar save in FM, reload the skin, and it's game on. 2 clicks. That's it. Too easy. Now, let's say we're a year down the track in the Gibraltar save, and we've got a fresh batch of Newgens. First, we make sure our Gibraltar profile is active. Then we head to the regular Generate page. See that little message at the top? It tells us which profile is active. That's super important, because any changes we make will be saved to that profile's config.xml. So, we pick our new shortlist, keep it on Preserve mode, and hit Start. Once that's done, the magic happens. The software has updated the main config.xml in your Pictures folder, and it's updated the copy that's attached to our active profile. If we pop back into the Gibraltar profile details, you'll see the old version of our config has been automatically moved into the Configuration Backups section. We can open it to check it out, restore it if we made a mistake, or just delete it. Now, I bet you're curious what that folder configuration thing is all about. This tied to the new and improved version of the old Custom Mappings section. Look, I'll be upfront with you. This is a power user feature. Most of you will probably never need to touch this. It's more for the modders out there. So if this looks a bit much, don't be overwhelmed. You can just ignore it, and the program will work perfectly fine. With that said, let's click the Custom Mappings icon. Everyone gets a default configuration, which is read-only. And if you had custom maps before on the previous version of the software, you'll see a converted custom maps profile here. We migrated them for you. Let's create our own. Click Create New, give it a unique name. And for the base, think of it like you are making a copy of that base profile and branch it out your way. We'll just make a copy of the default for now. We've got 3 tabs here. Folders and Nations is where you'll configure the most important things. On the left, you've got your picture folders. You can click the little folder icon to open it up and have a look at the images inside. At the bottom, you can even add your own folders to use within the configuration. The only rule is they must be inside your main NG Regens picture folder. This is awesome for creating your own custom nations with your own sets of pictures. On the right, you've got all the nations in the game. You can remap in any of them to a different default folder or change their default ethnicity codes. You can, of course, create your own new custom mappings. This works the same as in older version of the software. Now let's have a quick look at the Advanced Rules tab. This is where it gets complex, but the logic is pretty simple once you get it. When the program decides on a face, it checks these rules from top to bottom and stops at the first one that fits. First, it checks for nation codes. These are rules for one specific country. For example, we could tell the program that for any Armenian player with ethnicity code 0, Northern European, it should actually grab a face from the East Slavic folder instead of the default Armenian one. If it doesn't find a specific nation rule, it then checks for ethnic groups. This is for applying the same rule to a whole bunch of nations at once. See this Afro-Caribbean group? There are heaps of nations mapped to that. Instead of making a rule for all 42 of them, we can just make one rule for the whole group. And if it still doesn't find a rule, it falls back to the global defaults at the very bottom. These are the basic rules for everyone. As you can see, for most ethnicities, it just says, use the assigned national folder. No special changes. For each of these rules, you have a few options. You can tell it to use the default folder for that context. You can map it directly to one other specific folder. Or you can even tell it to pick a folder randomly from a list you choose. Finally, the Verify Mappings tab lets you test all this out. Let's check an American Chinese player. In the Folders and Nations tab, we see USA has default codes of 0 and 3, and China has 10. So, let's head to the Verify tab and configure our region. We set USA as his main and CHN as his second nationality. If we set the ethnicity code to 0, the system sees that matches the USA, makes the player's primary nationality American, and gives him a Caucasian face. If we change the code to 3, it still matches the USA and gives him an African American face. Change it to 10, and now it matches China, making his primary nationality Chinese and giving him a Chinese face. But what if the code is 8, which doesn't match either country? Then the system just flips a coin. It'll randomly pick either USA or China as the primary nation. It's rare, but the game does generate these players sometimes. When you're happy with your new configuration, just hit save. Or you can click back and drop your changes. And now you can probably see how it all clicks together. You can create a completely custom set of folder rules, and then in the Savegame Profiles section, you can assign that custom configuration to a specific profile. You could have one save with default mappings, and another save where all Argentinian players look like they're from Mars. You can switch between them with just a couple of clicks. It's magic! So, those are the 2 big new features. We've also fixed a bug that could cause a massive overuse of just a few pictures when generating in preserve mode, and we've added that fully localized help section. As always, if you've got any questions, Drop them in the comments below, or you can shoot me an email to ngregensmanager@gmail.com. Take it easy, legends. Rilo out.